Hello, I'm Charles Moffat, and it is book unboxing time again, or in this case, unbagging. And in particular, these are a bunch of books from Rereading, which is a used bookstore. It sells other things as well, but mostly books. That's available here in Toronto. Now, I got these books a while back in August. And what happened is I took my son for a walk, my son Arthur, and we went to the bookstore, we went for a walk downtown, and then we went to a second bookstore, and then we went to a third bookstore. But during this journey of bookstore to bookstore to bookstore, I bought some books. So the first bookstore I started at was, of course, Rereading, but we will be talking about some other bookstores as well. So what I got there, and the thing about Rereading is that they generally have a sale where it's like you buy 4 books, and then the fourth book of three of the books you pay for, and then the fourth book is free. That's basically, it's like a 4 for 3 deal. Anyway, so it encourages you to always buy multiples of 4. So I got Terry Brooks' The Elf Queen of Shannara, which is I think I actually have another copy of this at my parents' place, but I don't know where it is. And this is, part of the joys of being an adult, but you still have stuff at your parents' place, like somewhere in the attic. Yeah, I think I already have a copy of this in the attic at my parents' place. But I bought another one, and I was like, okay, if I find the other books, maybe I'll sell them. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I also found Clifford D. Simak? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Simak? Whatever. This is called Enchanted Pilgrimage, and I'm going to read the back of this in a little bit. And we also got The Alchemist Pursuit by Dave Duncan, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I like Dave Duncan. In fact, I'm reading one of his books right now called The Death of Nanji. Anyway. And I also got Hasan, which is a novel by Piers, which I like the cover. I just start with that. Also, I've never read any of Piers books, so it's kind of like being on my to-do list. And I also like books that have Arabic themes. So this is, like Lawrence of Arabia, not quite, no thank you, but 1001 Arabian Nights, yes please, I will definitely read that. Genies and lamps and all that good stuff, yes please. Okay, so Hasan, destitute son of a merchant. Oh, and I apologize for the noise, it is raining outside. Yeah, it's just pouring here. Yeah. So destitute son of a merchant was lured by the infidel alchemist Bahram. I apologize if I mispronounce anything. Overseas of otherworldly treachery, into the heart of mystery and magic. Seeking the secret of transforming copper into gold, the young innocent reached the fabled land of Serendip? Yeah, okay. Where 7 kings' daughters lived in enchanted exile. This is starting to feel a little bit like Shrek. Whatever. Okay, here the exquisite bird princess captured his heart, and he took her prisoner, only to have her escape him. Okay. In pursuit of her, he would be transported through sorcerous lands of jinns and ifrits to a confrontation that threatened to tear the world and his heart asunder. And then it says cover painting by Enrich. Okay. Oh, and there's apparently interior illustrations. I did not know that. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Is this one of these books? Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is one of these books where there's illustrations on the regular disc. Yeah, I like it when you won't find this in a lot of new books, but you will find it in older books where it's like every chapter, or sometimes every second chapter, whatever, you might find illustrations. Yeah. This one is obviously more adult themed than some other books. Yeah. Okay. I apologize to anybody who's upset that this might feel like spoilers to be seeing these images. Any more? Any more? Oh! Oh, okay. It's just some person on a horse. Looks like they're riding on water. That'd be cool to have a horse that can ride on water. Okay. Oh, there's an elephant. Yeah? And was it a camel? Yep, camel. Alright, elephants, camels, and magical horses. Yeehaw. Oh, there's another one. Okay. That looks like a Lilith or succubus type creature. If you're familiar with the Ben Sira version of the Bible. Anyway, there's another illustration. Alright. What else we got here? Actually, that image give me an idea there for like a art piece. Like, what if like you got the normal person space there and everything, and then below the veil, it looks like a elephant. It's just like with the trunk coming out and everything. So it's like a half human, half elephant creature. That could be interesting. It's funny how sometimes you just see an illustration, and even though it's not what the artist intended, you can sometimes get these like interesting little bits of like inspiration. Okay, that looks like it's a boat, but there's like a tornado or a water spout. Oh, one more. What's this? Okay. Maybe something with a brazier and some magic going on there? Okay. The Bird Princess. Well, that explains the wings. Also, she needs more clothes. But anyway, whatever. Let's not be prudes about this. Okay. What else do we have here? Well, wait, didn't this one have Alchemist in it as well? Yes, it does. Alchemist Bahram. Okay, look, more alchemy. It's funny how alchemy is kind of like associated with magic. But anyway. Alright, so. Alchemist Pursuit. Legendary clairvoyant, alchemist, astrologer, and physician, Maestro Nostradamus, may be able to delve into the future, but it is the past that will pose the greatest threat to the aged seer and his loyal, lethal apprentice, Alfio. Someone is murdering the courtesans of Venice. All were well known, admired for their skills, and somehow connected by a sinister event involving one of the great families of the city. While Nostradamus attempts to use the dark arts to investigate the murders, Alfio finds himself led by a possible demonic force through a maze of deceit and death. And when the master and apprentice come to the end of their intertwined paths, there may be hell to pay. Okay. Yeah, I do like Dave Duncan's work. This is interesting because I've never read of any of his works that are set in like the real world before. So, although he does sometimes reference that, like he's got this one series of books where like the main character just awakens in a different world, presumably because he died in the other world, in our world, but you never actually see him. You never see Wally in Earth. He's only ever in that other world that he just wakes up in. He wakes up in somebody else's body, which is the interesting part. Anyway, Enchanted Pilgrimage. So we had the two Alchemist ones, and now we got Enchanted Pilgrimage by Clifford D. Simak. I don't know how to pronounce that. But I like the cover, and I've been meaning to read one of his books sometime, so this should be fun. Alright. The Wastelands were a realm of magic, where no man ventured. Along the borders, the little people pursued their ancient ways, but the interior was populated by all the dread creatures of darkest legends. There, the Hellhounds took their awful vengeance on any who dared violate their territory. And there the Chaos Beast was dead, but struggled still to give birth to something even more strange and incomprehensible. Mark Cornwall was forced to flee into the wastelands to escape from Beckett, evil agent of the Inquisition. There he was joined by Oliver, the Rafter Goblin, Gil of the Marshes, Hal and Coon of the Hollow Tree, Snively the Gnome, and Mary, who could free the horn of a unicorn and said she was born in the wastelands. Okay, interesting. Ahead lay unknown terror and perilous adventure, and if they survived, there was the alien caretaker with a message of destiny. Okay, and as you can see, yes, $5.50 at Canadian for this book. Okay. In fact, I think they were all pretty much roughly the same price. One of them might have been $5.75 or something like that. What was this one? Yeah, see? $5.75. Okay. Queen of Shannara, which is the first book, I think, in the series. Okay. Or not, I can't remember. Is it? No, it's book 3. It's book 3 of the Heritage of Shannara. Okay, but we'll come back to that later, because I have other books here from a different bookstore. Okay, so, find the elves and return them to the world of men. The shade of the Druid Alanon had ordered Ren. Ren, huh? I have a character named Ren in a different book. And I'm writing a second book that also has Ren in it. Okay. Sorry, I got side topic there, The character has the same name. Anyway, it was clearly an impossible task. The elves had been gone from the Westland for more than 100 years. There was not even a trace of their former city of Arborlon left to mark their passage. No one in the Westland knew of them, except, finally, the Ottershag. Shag? Adder's Hag. Maybe it's Adder's Hag. Yeah. The blind old woman is not Adder's Shag. it's Adder's Hag. Okay. The blind old woman had given instructions to find a place on the coast of the Blue Divide. Build a fire and keep it burning for 3 days. One will come for you. Tiger Tide, the Wing Rider, had come on his giant rock. Now, for those that don't know, a rock is a giant bird from 1001 Arabian Nights and similar things from Arabic folklore and stories. But yeah, it's a giant bird. It looks like a giant eagle. And it eats like elephants for lunch and breakfast. Anyway, to carry Ren and her friend Garth to the only clear landing site on the island of Morrow Indle, where he said the elves might still exist, somewhere in the demon-haunted jungle. Now, she stood within that jungle, remembering the warning of the Adder's Hag. Beware, elf girl. I see danger ahead for you, and evil beyond imagining. It had proved all too true. Ren stood with her single weapon of magic, listening as demons evil beyond all imagining gathered for attack. How long could she resist? And if, by some miracle, she reached the elves and could convince them to return, how could they possibly retrace her perilous path to reach the one safe place on the coast? Now, I should note, this is the third book on the series. So let's back up a second, okay? So I went to a second bookstore. I didn't find anything there. But anything that I wanted at least. And then I went to a third bookstore that's near Chinatown in Toronto. And the name of that bookstore is... One second. Got some bookmarks here. That is Bakka Phoenix Books. And for those that don't know, the word Bakka in Japanese means idiot or fool. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, so is this book 1 or 2? These are new copies. That's the other thing I should mention. This isn't a used bookstore. This is a fantasy bookstore that deals in new books. Yeah. So I'm not sure which ones actually comes first, but anyway. Oh, this is the first one. First volume. Okay. Since the death of the Druid Alanon, the Four Lands have changed profoundly, with magic strictly forbidden in the Southland, now under totalitarian rule. Yet Par still has some power of the Wish Song. When he accidentally brings a mythic horror to life, a man calling himself Cogline drives it away. Cogline brings a message from Alanon. Venture to the dread Hadeshorn. Is it Hadeshorn or Hades Horn? I think it's Hades Horn. Along with the other Scions of Shannara. For in the future, all life in the Four Lands will be destroyed. To prevent this terrible fate, Alanon commands Par to recover the long-lost Sword of Shannara, a task that is next to impossible. Okay. So yeah, I bought the whole trilogy. That's what happened here. I bought this one, on a whim, because I was in the used bookstore. And then when I was at the other bookstore, I ended up completing the trilogy. So I ended up getting, getting the other ones. Ancient evil forces remain in control of the Four Lands. To restore the keep of the Druid Alanon, Walker Boa sets out on a journey to find the Black Elfstone. After narrowly escaping death, he learns that the Elfstone lies in the hands of the Stone King. Now Walker Boa must venture into perilous, unknown lands with a strange band of fellow travelers that includes Morgan Leia, whose once magic sword has been broken, quickening the daughter of the ancient king, and Ha'el, an assassin who hatches his own dark, sinister plot. Okay, so I need to read this one, then that one, and then finally I can read this one. So it's the book of three there, the Scions, the Druid, and the Elf Queen. Okay, gotta read them in that order. And I am currently reading Elf Stones of Shannara, different topic. But I don't have the other books in the series that, goes with Elf Stones. So I'm gonna read that one, finish reading it, and then I'm gonna skip ahead as far as like the timeline goes and then start reading this one at some point. Although not necessarily right away, because you know me, I have lots of books to read and it takes me a while because I'm reading multiple books at the same time. Like sometimes I'll be reading 6 different books. And that's not counting language books. Yeah. So let's just put those in there for later. And then there's the other ones, which I would also like to read at some point. I need to finish that other Dave Duncan book, the Death of Nanji, first. And then I'm going to do a book review on it as well. Yeah. Let's put these away. So, yes, I'm Charles Moffat. And you should go check out my books at amazon.com/author/Moffat. Okay, Moffat. Where I have lots of fantasy books, but I've also been doing some weird westerns and other topics. So, if you're not into fantasy, I do have other stuff as well. Okay, including a action thriller called The Girl in the Red Hoodie, which just has lots of boxing in it. So if you like boxing and you want a plot that kind of feels like a cross between Rocky and Die Hard, yeah, you should read that one. Anyway, I'm Charles Moffat, and it's time to go. Bye-bye.